Hello everybody and happy Friday. I hope you are doing well. I've been great. It's been a really great week. The weather has been wonderful. I've been busy, pleasantly so. My time is filled. I sat down to do this and I started yawning. I think I need a nap. Anyway, I feel slightly rusty because I haven't filmed anything in like 2 weeks and it's very strange, but I haven't been in the mood. I've been vaguely out of sorts with the YouTube platform and I guess kind of social media in general for most of this month. I just kind of like want to get away from a lot of stuff. So I haven't been super hot about filming and like super engaging online recently, which I think is understandable given the way that the world has been this year, I suppose. But anyway, I thought I should at least pop in and let you know what I'm currently reading, what I'm up to, because I have things to update you on. I am still doing my A to Z challenge for this month, where I'm trying to read one title for every letter of the alphabet, so 26 things in a single month. And it's going quite well. I'm over halfway there. I think I have 11 letters to go. And it's a little bit of a squeeze. I'm a little bit behind schedule because I pretty much have to finish one thing per day. But I've also been like working on a bunch of things all at once and I'll finish them like all on the same day, so I'm not too worried about it. And let's be honest, the world will not end if I read like 24 books this month instead of like 26. So it is what it is. But I've read a bunch more letters since my last wrap up, so I will need to motivate myself to get a wrap up filmed this coming weekend, because if I have too many books to talk about, I start getting really stressed out about filming them because it takes forever for me to film. But I'll get through it. So what have I read since I last talked about this? I read The Citadel of Weeping Pearls for the letter C. I've finished Defender and Elatsoe for the letters D and E. Those were my buddy reads this month. I've read Hacking Darwin for the letter H, Jane Austen at Home for the letter J, Lithium 6 for L, Masquerade in Lodi for the letter M. I read a random comic, Ophiuchus Volume 1 for the letter O, because why not? And then I've also finished Untouchable for the letter U and the XY for the letter X, obviously. So I've got a lot of things to talk about in my next wrap up. And I'm currently working on Imago for the letter I. In fact, I'm hoping to finish that today on Friday because, you know, Octavia Butler's books are not long. I could sit down and read one of them in a single day if I wanted to, but I usually don't binge read her stuff. In fact, this month I'm learning there is probably a reason why I go so long in between reading Butler's books. They are good, they're thought-provoking, they're challenging, and it's not really feasible for me to read 5 of them in 1 month like I was planning on. I think I might do 3 this month and that will be good. I've also been reading Zion's Fiction, which is an anthology of Israeli SFF, which I need to get a move on with. I've read the introduction, which was incredibly long and academic, and I'm hoping that the actual stories are more interesting. And then later today, like this evening and over the weekend, I'll probably start 2 new audiobooks. I have Permafrost by Aleister Reynolds, which I think is a science fiction novella. And it's been a while since I've read anything by him. I usually really like his books on audio. They always seem to work for me on audiobook. And then I think I'm also going to get Kindred by Octavia Butler. I wanted to read Contact, which is a Croatian anthology, but I need to buy it. And at the moment, I'm trying to not buy any more books because I need to read what I've already bought this year to reach one of my reading goals for the year. So I think I'm just gonna listen to that audiobook of Kindred for the letter K. And then next week is Thanksgiving here in the US. Like, whoa. I usually get a lot read over the holidays. I don't read a lot when I'm on vacation and traveling places, but I'm usually home for Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's, and those are the 2 times of year when I have just really long holiday vacations at home, and I read so much. So I'm expecting to get a lot read for this challenge, the A to Z challenge, over the Thanksgiving break. So I'll probably pick up The Relentless Moon by Mary Robinette Kowal again over Thanksgiving and just binge read that when I have no other distractions. Speaking of distractions though, we're getting into the non-reading stuff now. Long story short, I was on vacation visiting family at the end of October, and due to storm damage while we were out on the East Coast, my mother and I found a bunch of lichen, just lying on the ground, as you will. And we were like, this is so cool. We've never seen so much lichen before in our lives. So we collected a bunch of it that was, lying on the ground, sustainable foraging and all of that, and brought it home. And I was like, what do you do with a bunch of really cool lichen? Well, you can sometimes extract dye from it. You can use it for like fabric and yarn dyeing, which I'd known about because I'd heard somebody talking about it on like a podcast recently. So I got super fired up about figuring out how to dye yarn with lichen. And I have proceeded to just fall into the world of like natural plant dyeing, like botanical dyeing. I'm just like, I'm going to try everything. I'm going to try avocado pits, and oh my god, I still have mint in the garden. I could try doing that, and madder and indigo and turmeric and just all this stuff. I did not think I was ever going to be that interested in dyeing yarn. I enjoy watching other people do it, but I had no interest in doing it at all until I started reading about it, and I had a bunch of lichen to use. And so guess what's been taking up a lot of my time? I've devoted a lot of evenings and weekends and that sort of time doing some research and doing some little dyeing experiments. So not that much so far, but I'm still getting things. Like I had to get all the equipment for it and everything. So I'm having a lot of fun, and it's turned into like this consuming passion. So I have a feeling I'm going to be doing a lot of that while I'm on vacation at the end of the year as well. So you may be hearing a lot about my yarn dyeing adventures. I may just really want to blab all about it. I'm doing a lot of it with my mom as well because she's also quite interested in it. And yeah, so I'm planning on doing madder root over Thanksgiving. Yeah, because red, guys, that's my favorite color. I'm hoping it'll come out properly, but we will see. But I'm planning to do that, and I'm so excited. And then, well, knitting. Let's do the crafting update, shall we? Always have to have one of these segments in my Friday Reads videos now. So I did have a finished project that I wanted to show you guys. You've seen this before if you've seen any of my past 2 or 3 Friday Reads videos. You can see this properly. This is the Mafati shawl that I was knitting, and it has, this is the wrong side, but I like it best with the brown side of the cables here, if you can see some of that. It is brioche cables, and the rest of it is just stockinette, basically. So this is the green side. I'm not sure how well the colors are coming across. The brown and the green are both quite dark. I love how this turned out. The way that the colors kind of mushed together and everything. It's what I love very, very much. And yeah, it's done. It's blocked. I've worn it a couple of times and I'm very happy with it. So I love brioche. I love this kind of form of double knitting. I love doing it. I've pretty much failed at other types of color work. I'm about to show you a stranded color work project that I'm going to moan about a little bit. I'm not good at stranded color work, but I'm quite good at brioche. So I'm going to be doing more of this sort of thing in the future. So I'm very happy with that. But I'm working on 2 sweaters. One of them is for me, and I just would like to have it done by Christmas if possible, but it's not a big deal. And then the other one is a gift from my dad, which I can show you because it's not a secret. He knows I'm making this for him and he's seen it because I have to try it on him. It is, it's curling up so it's difficult to show it, but it looks like this. So it is a stranded colorwork yoke. And I think the pattern is called Trista. It's a pattern by Jennifer Steinglass, and I really love the way that it looks, which is part of why I'm agonizing about this, because I can never get gauge when I'm doing stranded color work. I always knit too tightly. And in this case, I like the way it looks. I like the fabric. I don't want it to be any looser, but my stitch gauge is too tight. And obviously that drastically affects the measurements. So I'm trying to not have to rip everything out. I'm making some of my own modifications to the colorwork chart so I can insert more stitches. And a couple more rows and I will have to try it on my dad once again and see if it will fit across his shoulders. But it's so cool looking. I love these colors and hopefully my dad agrees. So this I need to work on pretty much monogamously until I get the yoke done and I know that it will fit properly. After that point, it will be pretty much plain sailing, but I worry so much about the fit across the shoulders. And then the other sweater I'm working on is one I've shown before, but there wasn't very much of it to see at that point, but I've done a couple more of the cable repeats so I can put it up here so you can see it. I am so happy with the way that this is turning out. This is the beginnings of a Delphinus sweater. I don't remember who the designer's name is. It's from the latest issue, like issue 34, I think, of Pom Pom Quarterly. And it's this very loose, oversized, fluffy, cabled pullover, and I love it so much. I fell in love with it. And I do really like knitting with a strand of mohair held double with some fingering weight yarn. It just creates this very light but silky and fuzzy texture. It's amazing. And I am better at doing these cables than I was at doing the cables on my Mafati shawl. So yeah, I have a ways to go on this, but it's the same 8-row repeat for another 13 inches before I have to do anything else. So this I can pick up and do like 1 repeat per day and it's no problem. It is worked from the bottom up, so I'm working up towards the armpits basically, and then it gets a bit more complicated after that. So I love this. I had this parked in a project bag for about a month, and I came back to it a day or two ago and I was like, it feels so soft. It's like touching a cloud. You may be wondering why I'm doing so much knitting, like where has the crochet gone? And the answer is that I'm just really enjoying knitting for creating garments, and garments are what's on my mind right now. But I have plans for a couple of bigger crochet projects next year. I have another afghan that I want to make and a sweater pattern or two that I want to try. So the crochet will be back, but for right now I'm still in like this really intense, I'm learning how to knit all the things mode. So yeah, that's pretty much it for right now. My other fiber adventure will probably be spinning, because another thing that I didn't think I would be interested in, but after a couple of people were talking to me on Twitter about the existence of drop spindles, I was like, well, they're cheap and I could just get one, and I needed like some fiber, what do they call them? Roving tops or whatever for something else. So we'll see if I can figure out a drop spindle. We'll see. The fun thing is that you can find all sorts of tutorials for everything fiber and yarn and even fabric related here on YouTube. There are so many people out there making videos and I'm very grateful for it. So yeah, that's gonna be my foreseeable future, making all the things, reading all the things. This is why I need more audiobooks because I'm knitting and doing all the jigsaw puzzles. So Anyway, I think that's enough blabbering on from me. It feels good to sit down and film again. Like, I get into this when I'm actually doing it. My insecurities are on display today. I think you can tell, but yeah. So that is it for me today. I hope that you have a wonderful weekend. And if you're in the US and you celebrate Thanksgiving, I hope that you are looking forward to some nice relaxing time around the holiday. And yeah, I will be back to talk to you again soon. Bye.